for randomness. So, little story here about Amazon employees. So at Amazon, they have two types of unpaid time off that they can take. And they're not unique in this way, but I've never experienced something like this. But if you have, then you kind of know what this is all about. So they have normal unpaid vacation, and there's a limit to how much you can take. The other is voluntary time off, or VTO. That's where your boss decides they don't need as many people working. So VTO doesn't count against your vacation time. So whenever they announce that they've got VTO available, there's a lot of competition because they'll be like, oh, I'll take it because it doesn't count against your vacation.
Well, so then you don't get paid though either, right?
It doesn't sound like you get paid either way.
So,
I mean, I think everybody would take non-paid
I would,
days off.
yeah, totally.
If it was,
I would.
Unfortunately, in like radio, it's like every day you take off, you feel like you shouldn't. You know, like you feel like you should be here as often as possible.
We're a small group, so yeah.
But it's like, man, for most other jobs, if I'd taken all my vacation days and they're like,
oh, you desperate.
You can leave, but you just won't get paid for those days, I'd be like, fine.
Yeah, it sounds like a paid vacation is not an option in this scenario. You either have scheduled days off where you don't get paid, or you get this VTO, and that you just take. You still don't get paid, but it doesn't count against those days that your vacation days. Well, Amazon sends out alerts after new VTO becomes available. But people say that slots are always gone now. So when they go to claim them, that's it, they're gone. They're not there. And they're like, what is going on? Well, they say it's because other employees are now using bots to snap up the VTO the second that it comes out. So it's like sniffing for these emails, and then as soon as it sees it, it automatically goes and boom, 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 and books.
Amazon's got to be pretty proud of these employees.
On one hand, you're like, well,
like,
this
hey,
is pretty good.
Yeah, they're getting promotions just for botting around.
Yeah, they say bots like this have been a problem elsewhere, too. So it's not just Amazon. There was a huge thing last month about bots snagging up all the tee times at golf courses in Los Angeles.
Well, there's a whole, like, a controversial thing where that will happen. There's like this guy who created this company, and it's basically like what they would do for hotel rooms or even plane, or like airline tickets, where a company would just buy all of them and then they would sell them to people. And so peak times, they would jack up the prices.
And they would take the money, not what the golf courses.
Because think about it, the golf course is just like, well, if somebody will pay me 80% of what all the tee times are worth, or 60 or whatever it is, to book the full day, if they're like, man,
they're taking the risk.
If they're taking all the risk, and I'm making, let's just say it's 15 grand a day instead of 20, but you're making it every single day. You're like,
crazy.
Well, I
There's
just
no
paid for
pressure.
everything.
It's
Yeah.
just sold every day.
We book mostly, if they don't have an online option that's a great website, we'll go to Golf Now to book our tee times.
And so it's like in LA, it's
Because there's not
mess.
as many public courses.
People are really hating it, and then the prices for those peak times are really expensive. I mean, this is all part of the worsening of America.
Yes.
I mean, that is horrible. It's like Ticketmaster. You know?
Yeah, thanks to the bots. They're not sure what Amazon's going to do about the problem. I think you can figure out who it is. Whoever's taking all this VTO, it's like, well, they're the ones that have something going on. Go talk to them. This is a weird story. So Washington State's Attorney General Bob Ferguson is running for governor. He is a Democrat. Well, he's running against Bob Ferguson's. Two other Bob Fergusons entered the race on the Republican side.
Didn't
As a
this hap-
joke? It's like the
didn't-
Fargo.
No.
thing.
Fargo.
Yeah.
It's Fargo.
Is this Fargo?
Well, it's totally what happened in Fargo this past season.
Well, two men named Bob Ferguson filed to run hours before the deadline last Friday, and a Republican operative, his name is Glenn Morgan, he admitted that he's the guy behind it. He said he was running both campaigns. I don't know if they're running as Republicans or Democrats. I guess they could be running as Democrats. Either way,
I think it's probably Republicans.
well,
to
the idea is
confuse
just to
voters.
confuse voters, basically. You've got multiple Bob Fergusons out there, so then people vote thinking they're voting for this one or that one, and then in the end, all the Bob Fergusons lose. Well, this is not going to happen because the other two, the imposter Bobs, dropped out of the race yesterday. It turns out there is a law in Washington to prevent this from happening. It is a felony there to run for office just because you have the same name as someone else, and you could get up to 10 years in jail for it.
It seems smart to confuse me. Well, wasn't there a Missouri politician years ago that passed away?
Mel Carnahan.
That's
Carnahan,
it.
yeah.
But still won.
Yes, he still
The
won,
election.
and then they just let his wife do it. They're
That's
like, we're
right.
not even sure what to do.
That's insane.
It
She's
is.
like, I'll do it.
That's insane.
I mean, how,
Just let somebody's wife do the job.
Because he got enough votes.
Yes.
They didn't know what to do.
it's crazy.
It's bizarre.
Washington Secretary of State said it isn't actually a new tactic. That's why there is a law to prevent it. People have tried it in the past. It still sounds like they would have made it onto the ballot had they not dropped out. So the legal stuff wouldn't have prevented them. It would have been more of a like, well, after this election, you're going to have to deal with the legal ramifications of this. So they could have still been on the ballot. They could have disrupted the election, but then they may have gone to jail for what they did. And so that's why they were like, it's not worth it. We're out. And so they dropped out. Today is Online Romance Day. So if you're looking for love, look today. It's also Dance Like a Chicken Day, which when I first read that, I was like, do chickens dance?
It's the
chicken dance. Although there's also, have you seen the videos of the like women that will they've got chickens where there's like it looks like they're dancing, and then the women will dress up like the chickens and dance next to them.
I have not seen this.
They're great.
What are they called? I just see it every now and again on like TikTok or something.
They're amazing.
What kind of music we got going?
Well, then they've got
here?
the Arrested Development chicken dance. Remember that one? Everybody had a different chicken dance. You don't remember that? On Arrested Development? They would call Michael a chicken, and they all had a different dance. Every family member would have a different dance. Like Lindsay did this, and then Joe would go Coke, Coke. And then like Tobias did something like that. It was really great. I'll find it. I'll post it.
Put that on the blog. That's your randos.
Brando's Random